Freelance and full-time. Pros and cons, because I was flip-flopping between, like, I kind of work in 3-year cycles, I found.
Yeah, right.
So 3 years freelance before I've had enough, and for whatever reason, and then go to full-time, get sick of that. And a lot of that just came from not feeling grounded.
Yeah.
And not doing it not doing the right way. What I mean by the right way was not having the resilience involved to stick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for young people, I think that they're going to find it challenging to ride it out, because I think that they've just kind of been promised something that doesn't exist.
Well, you see, I think I've definitely thought about that a lot over the years, because same thing as you, when you sent me the, just sort of the initial email going, hey, this is what we usually talk about. And specifically, I think it was in context of what you just said, failing upwards. And the thing that sort of I started thinking of then was just going, it's like a career is built by navigating eras. You're going to go through phases when you're completely fixated on one particular thing, or you're working in-house, or you're working with a particular client, or you're doing a specific style, and that is going to change over time, and that you're supposed to do that. And that's the thing you learn after 10, 15 years. But when you're coming out of school, there's no way in hell you're going to know that.
No.
But it's terrifying.
But they don't even tell you that. They don't tell you...
Well, when you're in school, you're only told to make a decision, and you're told to make a decision, and this is going to be the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah.
And which is completely unrealistic. So it's cool that that's the thing that you were imparting to them, especially through the context of that work, is there are different facets to how this works, and there are different things that you're going to take away from it. And there are different, there might even be different failures within, but you're going to learn something throughout it. And also, especially if you're working on things where there are different disciplines involved within it, and understanding craft, understanding marketing, understanding any of those bits and pieces, you're going to find something that you enjoy. And when you collect enough of those things, that's when you start finding your path. So imparting that onto people is cool, always a cool thing.
Yeah, what I was imparting were the things that I should have known that I didn't. The lessons that the challenges that I had, I didn't accept them as lessons. I just took them as roadblocks. Where now I can look
in
back.
what way?
Well, I think that, let's say if we were to look at the work that you've done as a juxtaposition.
How dare you put this back on me?
As a juxtaposition. Is that you have allowed yourself to evolve. And as you were saying that, things are going to be working in these eras, and then you kind of move along and you grow and you evolve along with that.
Yeah.
Where I didn't allow for that. Every time when things were starting to shift, there was this resistance for the change, which is just ridiculous, right?
How did that resistance present itself?
It was more of I guess, inadequacy. Mm-hmm. There was always this feeling of shortcoming, and the whole imposter syndrome, not good enough, the cliches, all that, right?
The burden of every creative.
Yeah, so I think that it's those that can accept it and just go with it, or those that react to it, and I reacted to it, and that's kind of why I jumped ship so many times.
Yeah, I've done that too, though. I've jumped ship, when it, I hit points where I've just been nah, this is just not working anymore. And I think it wasn't necessarily from a fatigue or a point of not maybe not. Sorry, hang on. I phrased that poorly. Not necessarily from a standpoint of, this is frustrating, I'm just butting my head against a wall, therefore I'm going to go and try something else. I think it's more when you, I don't know, do you find this as well? If you do find yourself butting up against something repeatedly, after you've been working in a certain discipline or something for a long time, do you find that if you start butting up against it continually, then it's, all right, it's time to move over here and try something else? Or is it
probably not the butting?
It fuck this shit. No, I'm done.
It was, That's a good question. I'm just trying to think of particular instances. The butting up against things, I don't mind. I kind of like that challenge. I suppose is when I've never really considered this. I think I think it's that challenge that I do like, but now I'm trying to look retrospectively with this new lens, right? Which is different. It just shifts the context of what things were like. But where there was this sense of inferiority and inadequacy, I choked and I buckled in those instances and just thought, and instead of just thinking, okay, well, here's an opportunity for you to overcome to then level up.
Yeah.
I just saw some of those opportunities as like, I'm not good enough. And I think that a lot of it, and to tie it back into a conversation that we had earlier, right?
Yeah.
Like some of the
I apologize
artists,
in advance for taking you on the ADHD spiral
this is
journey.
how we're going to do it. This is how this conversation is going to go.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, you know, there are particular artists where, like, let's just say, for example, Ken Taylor,
Yep.
or Dan Mumford as
Yep.
well, right? They're the goats of that particular,
Absolutely.
you know, that poster illustration style. I would look at that, take inspiration from it, and then think, I'm never going to get there.
Yeah.
Right. And then that was it. That was just my immediate thought. I'm never going to get there. Instead of applying the thinking of, it took them a whole lifetime to get there. They're dangling a carrot in front of you.
Yeah.
Go through the motions. The only difference between you and the person that you're aspiring to be is time. Right? It's time and effort.
Absolutely, yeah.
So there was always this urgency to get to a place that I wanted to get to, not having the patience, and then bailing because I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So
I know exactly what you mean. Hey, like, and that was definitely something I used to beat myself up about a lot. Like when I was, I don't know, like first half of my career, at least. Like just, you know, like you named two artists who I, you know, when I was starting out, I still love their work, but I was like, you know, obviously super inspired by both of those guys. I love that you mentioned Dan Mumford, because I was talking with someone about the artwork. Oh God, was it? I've forgotten the band. Oh no, I can picture the art, but I can't remember the band. Gallows. He did this awesome cover art for Gallows. I think on their first record, it's it's like two sharks and ships, but he's got such a unique way of doing his line work and the colors and everything like that. It's always stayed with me a lot. But anyway, going back to what we were talking about, which was like, I used to beat myself up about that a lot when I was like kind of, I guess, like finding my voice is probably the best place to put it, because and the only way I ever managed to get past that was, instead of trying to compare what I was doing to my peers or to artists that I aspired to, I just sort of had to step back and just be like, it's like, the point is not to be them. The point is I have to be myself, and it's going to take time for that to present itself. And the only way that will happen is by kind of collecting all of these different influences and taking inspiration and taking lessons from a million different places and not just one.